think the show hasn't completely sort of gelled yet as of the end of season 3. We just wanted to focus a little bit more on the characters. We felt like, at season 4, it's time for the characters to really come into their own.
We don't have to do 20 episodes. Let's look at what we did in the past, what worked, what didn't work, if possible. I wouldn't say rectify mistakes, but obviously there were some, elements that we didn't really have time to concentrate on.
I felt like we had to do a fair number of character-driven stories.
So in the first half of the season, every character pretty much has their focus episodes. We got one for Keller, we got one for Taylor, we've got one for Ronan, for Shepard, for McKay, even for Carter, who joins the show. More than any other year, I think I'm really, really happy with the overall bunch of stories that we have. Okay, well, Jewel was the first addition, the first new addition to the cast that we brought in late last year. Her character is very likable, I think very charming. I'm not saying fans are going to forget Beckett, but I think they're really going to like the Jennifer Keller character.
We're very excited to have her on the show. She's been great, very talented actress, and she's been on the show before where she was covered in Wraith makeup, which seemed like a shame at the time. But in a way it was good because we knew we could bring her back as a human that wouldn't be, no one would recognize her and say, oh, she's been on the show before. So we could just bring a whole new character, bring her back as a whole new character.
One of the nice things that the Carter character gives us is she's so multifaceted. She doesn't have to be stuck behind a desk, even though she's the leader of Atlantis. She has a military background, so she can go out on ops. And on the other hand, she's got the science background, so when McKay and Zelenka are sort of trading gobbledygook, she can get right in there with them.
We start shooting usually February or March, so we started breaking stories for season 4 in probably October or November. That's kind of when we knew there was going to be a season 4. At that point, we did make a conscious effort to focus a little bit more on Taylor, Ronan. We knew that Amanda was coming in, so we knew we were going to have to deal with her. So we had a deliberate plan to do some specific episodes for those characters.
And then we got a bunch of team episodes, which are really cool. And also, in terms of this year, I think this year more than any other year has a bunch of not only character revelations regarding sort of relationships and things like that, but also in terms of big story arcs. We finally get a chance to sort of explore a bit, the inner workings of the Wraith. We find out a little more about the Replicator. We, shift things in I would say a surprising direction. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but I think this season will be full of surprises. We created a race. We call them the Travelers. One of the nice things about SG1, for instance, is that they would be able to go off-world and encounter technologically advanced people as well as sort of like low-tech people. But the problem with Atlantis and the Pegasus Galaxy is we said that whenever a race would get technologically advanced, the Wraith would come in and wipe them out. So there was never an opportunity for a race to reach that level. And so we decided, well, actually there is a way. We'll just put them in ships. And so there's sort of an armada of ships that basically go from planet to planet. And they come down and scavenge the leftovers of societies that have been culled by the Wraith. They're, I guess, kind of a loose cannon or, kind of roguish and trustworthy in some ways, but also potential allies in another way. And just generally the type of characters that I personally like, not black or white, but kind of gray. Just the fact that we would be producing 20 episodes instead of the usual 40 was such a load off our minds that, having the time is such a luxury. If you go down on set this season, I find the just atmosphere, the attitude a lot more relaxed and laid back.
I think things are going really well. Joe and I are really excited actually about how the show is looking. We're doing a slightly different look to the show this year. We have a different post-production process, which has changed things up a little bit. We've changed the costumes a bit.
The actors are having fun, and we've implemented read-throughs. So if they have any questions about the script, then we can go over them early. So, so far so good.
The irony is that we're working very hard to produce what we think is a very good season 4, but our fate, whether or not there's a season 5, is being decided by the back half of season 3, which we can't do anything about.
Well, actually, Paul brings up a good point, and what I might suggest is if every fan out there, let's say if we have 1 million fans, if you guys can get 5,000 of your friends to tune in to watch the show, we will definitely have a season 5. 5 or 10,000, just average it out.